Viewing, welcome to the Geeks Under Grace Podcast Live Edition. I am your host, the beautiful Ryan Thompson. I am joined by the
what are you going to say? And who are you talking about?
Has his good qualities, J.P. Franco.
Thank you? Question mark. Not sure exactly how to respond to that, but we'll say thank you. Hello, everyone.
And the 6.5 out of 7, Cody Armour.
Story of my life. How's it going, guys?
Fantastic.
That seems like a much better introduction than what I got. Just saying.
Almost
just saying.
good.
He has some things that are good about him, but you know.
But I have a low rating scale, so we're all 6.5s out of 7.
Oh, good.
So JP, sir, what's your week been like?
You know, not much has happened this week. I played some Star Wars Saga Edition, which, if you don't know, is a RPG, like a tabletop RPG, and that went really well. Our group has been going for the past few weeks, and so this was like our fourth time playing. So we really focused on the RPG elements of the game, but it was pretty fun. I got to reprogram a droid, which, if you don't know anything about tabletop RPGs or Star Wars, this will seem very boring to you. But I rolled a 20 on the D20 to try to reprogram this droid so it was mine and it would see me as his master, and it worked, which was awesome. Then I don't know. Have you guys watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Have you been watching it since it's been back on?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What have you guys thought?
Who is Mac and Mockingbird working for?
Yeah, that was interesting.
But I mean, like,
Not
overall,
Hydra.
like, have you been enjoying the new episode?
Yeah. This last week was really crazy because they finally said, yeah, this is what the crystals are. This is how they came about, and
yeah, and we got to see our first live Kree, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because we've seen a dead one for a while, but it's cool to see that coming to life in in TV form. Though the guy who played it was from Warehouse 16.
13.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Warehouse 13.
13. I don't remember. I actually never watched it. It only came on. It was always a show that was on right before Alphas on Sci-Fi, whenever that show was on, which it makes me sad that that's not on anymore. But I've been loving the new episodes since they've been on. It's just been super fun and great. So
Breaking question, Cody, is that Big Red that you're drinking?
Coca-Cola.
I am sorry, Allie. It is Coca-Cola. Back to you, JP.
No, that was pretty much all I had, really. Also, just played some more League of Legends, and that was super fun. So I've been having a good game streak recently, so I'm sure that will be coming quickly to an end. But Ryan doesn't like League, and I don't care, so it works out great.
I clicked the user agreement when I started playing Dota, and part of it said you must hate everybody that plays other MOBAs. So I'm just.
You know, why can't we all just get along? That's what I. You can have Dota, I can have League. It's great.
Yeah. Well, look, as long as we can both agree that Smite is terrible.
Yeah, we can both agree on that.
That's the common ground. That's going to bridge the gap between Dota and League players. Cody.
I also really liked S.H.I.E.L.D. I thought it was fantastic. It's getting really, really good, and I love that they're getting back into the superhero stuff a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, we've kind of thought that was going to be, but having Quake and stuff has been really cool. I also watched Walking Dead is getting very interesting and totally opposite of what I said I wanted two podcasts ago. But I'm happy with it.
What'd you say? Because I don't remember.
I said that I love that they're on the run. I hate when they're at a standstill someplace. and that it should burn, and then they ended up here. But it's okay because it's really cool to see them be the wildlings almost, and have like they're kind of the governor in this situation. They're the bad guys almost, and it's really kind of cool to see that contrast.
Yeah, see, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was like, they have PTSD.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably. I mean, they don't.
I was like, Rick is getting stepping in governor territory a little bit. She's like, no, he was crazy and stuff. I was like, yeah, but are you done with the episode? No. Okay, wait till you finish. And then a couple minutes later, she's like, yes. I was like, if Rick knew he could have got away with it, he'd have shot old girl's husband.
I love what. Do you guys watch The Talking Dead afterwards?
Yeah.
Kevin Smith mentioned that moment when he is about to kill the guy. That it's very barbaric of him, and he thinks that in Rick's mind that he's going, I kill it and then I take it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really crazy.
Carol.
Yeah. Scary.
I was like, there she is. There's the Carol we know and love. Was it a little weird that I was like, man, Carol, you kind of cute looking now. But maybe that's just because of how I would be in the zombie apocalypse, so I don't know.
I also this week went to an old style, old school, not really, but a brick and mortar video game place that isn't GameStop, that still buys NESs and Sega Genesis and all of those kind of things. Yeah. Which I love, and they're very rare anymore, it seems. It's very cool to see. I was like a kid in a candy shop with all the different consoles that I want again.
I need a Neo Geo CD for cheap.
Neo Geo, wow.
Because I want to get Windjammers and play that a lot when people are over. But Neo Geo and cheap are not cannot fit together. Because I think the cheapest I've found on eBay for a CD, Neo Geo CD, is almost $200.
Oh wow!
But if everything works out, I think I have a buddy of mine who's going back to Japan, when he gets out of the Air Force, and he wants to get rid of a bunch of his games and stuff he has, because he was stationed in Japan for 3 years and just has all these huge shelves and drawers and stuff full of games and systems that he's bought from over there. And
when you said Neo Geo, I was thinking of something completely different.
What would you think?
Do you guys remember, in elementary school, there were these? It was an upright-looking thing where you would put in a a sheet. They used it for science and history, and you each page had a code, and so you'd punch in the code, and then it would ask you questions. It was a trivia thing. Trivia school thing. I think it had some kind of it was I don't even know. I'm gonna be searching for this.
But no,
maybe someone who's watching knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes, comment on the Facebook post if you know what he's talking about.
I remember it would go beep boop boop beep boop boop beep, and then it would it would question you about things. I promise this is a thing.
It was a long time ago when I was in elementary school, and I don't even know if we had those.
Too high tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't end up with a Neo Geo, but I did end up with Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii, because I have no idea how I ended up with it. But it's fun. I've never played it before.
You know what? I really Nintendo needs to make that type of Mario, a new innovative Mario game on the Wii U, because so far what they've come out with is the same old junk that they've made time and time again.
I feel like it was a backstep from Super Mario Sunshine, the Galaxy game.
Really? Sunshine?
Yeah. I remember being a little kid, sorry, Ryan, but a little kid, and Super Mario Sunshine came out, and I looked at the commercials, and I was like, that's stupid. You help Mario clean up pollution. That's dumb. But then I played it, and they shouldn't have marketed it like that. They should have marketed it like we're giving you Mario with a gun and a jetpack. Because that's what it was. And
Actually, I've never played Sunshine, so I don't know.
It's Super Mario with a gun and a jetpack.
But I just feel like even with 64, like that was the first like 3D Mario, and it was really great and all that stuff. And then Sunshine kind of took the same formula, innovated on its own. And then really with the GameCube, the big Mario game that was like kind of them trying to be a little innovative and was Paper Mario.
Yeah, Paper Mario was fun.
And then you had the Wii, and yeah, they had the new Super Mario Brothers game, which was just, let's take the formula of the old ones, make it for new audience, and a lot easier. But you had Galaxy that was like, hey, let's take Mario and try something different with it. You don't have that on this console yet. You have Super Mario World, which is just the 3DS game with catsuits.
The gameplay's all right. Like, I like the idea of the upside-down planets and stuff, although it's kind of gimmicky. I hate the backdrops with a passion. Like, I understand you're in space, and so what do you expect? But it just seems so lazy. There's a few of them where it's just a black backdrop with, like, little white dots for stars.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? You couldn't do any more than that? But, I don't know. That's just me.
Okay. Let's see. I have been watching Heroes again.
Ooh.
And you know the new show's coming out, and I was like, man, you know, it's been a while. Man,
how far along are you?
I'm like a couple episodes in season 2.
Oh, nice.
Man, that show's so great for like a couple of seasons. Like
well, there were only 3, so.
Well, no, there was
Wasn't there 4?
There was 4, but like 2 was during that writer's strike, and so it's only like a 12-episode season. I don't know. It's like I remember 4, the last season, just like 3 and 4 kind of leaving bad taste in my mouth. And so I'm wondering to see if, like, as I watch it again, if they still do, because I don't really remember. Like, the only thing I remember is like a couple of them lose their powers, and I know Peter gets powers back, but it's a lamer version of the powers he had before.
Well, he was a little OP, you know.
Well, I mean, him and Siler both were a little like.
Though Peter almost easier because, like, all he had to do was be in like remote proximity to some people, and he would get their powers. He didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
It was They probably should have like killed him off, like in season 1, you know, or at the beginning of season 2, to make sure he didn't, like, you know. Well, no, he couldn't, right? Because he had met Claire.
He had Claire's powers, yeah. Like I will say, I do think it's cool that Nathan, like, didn't he actually die at the end of the first season? And it's like Siler pretending to be him, like, for the rest of the series.
No, that's midway through, and I think it's. How does that go? I know what you're talking about, but it's not in the first season. It's like way towards the end. It's. Oh, I want to know now. I think it's Siler becomes Nathan. Yeah. At the end.
But I thought it was. Because I know Nathan, like, that was one thing I always liked, that they actually killed Nathan kind of early in the show, but the actor was still there because it is Siler. But they do something with his head to make him think he's Nathan.
Yeah, because I remember when it happens, he's president or whatever now. Like, he's in the government, and he sees a clock, and he goes, that's wrong. How do I know that? And then they, like, does a big thing.
Oh, yeah, I vaguely remember that. I was just happy when Kristen Bell joined the cast. I was like,
I think it's season 2, maybe, that she joins.
Yeah, that was exciting.
I thought you said Christian Bale at first, and was like, where? And then I was like, oh.
Every time I say Kristen Bell, someone's always like, Christian Bale? No. Someone much better.
Especially when I go, man, I really have a crush on Kristen Bale.
Who doesn't? I mean, it's Batman.
No. What's her name in Frozen? It's not Ella.
Anna.
Anna.
Mhm.
And
Elsa?
besides that...
Or no,
playing-
it might be Elsa. I can't remember which one's which.
No, that was You're right. It's Anna.
Playing a little bit of... I think I finished Far Cry 4, which... I miss boss fights in games. Because the ending of Far Cry 4, you basically just walk up to the dude and shoot him in the face. Or not. It's either option. There is no last boss fight against this guy, so I was like, whatever, but it's actually got some pretty easy trophies, so I'm actually trying to work on completing it, and it would actually be I think it'd be the first game on PlayStation that I've gotten all the trophies, because I've never really cared about trophies as much as I have achievement points. So besides that, playing a little Dota again. Nothing else has really been going on. So with that, let's go ahead and breaking news. Get into the news. Uncharted 4 got delayed to next year.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Naughty Dog said that they announced people have come to expect a really high quality product, and we want to give a high quality product, and so we're delaying the game till next year sometime. I think they are suspecting that it'll be early next year, but who knows? And I know I have so many friends who are really disappointed right now because some of them, that was the only game that they've been really looking forward to this entire year. So
Wesley, hush up.
Right?
No,
Yeah.
he just sent a message. He's like, Nintendo games still have boss fights.
This is facts.
That's just them holding on to the past and not being innovative.
You just said you missed it.
Yeah, but it's Nintendo, so I have to say the opposite of what people say.
Gosh.
Yeah, so it's it's as much as I love my Xbox and my PS4, I'd really love to play some games on them that are not also available on other systems or an indie game. Because last year was the year of delays, and hopefully this year will not also be the year of delays.
Let's take a second and answer some of these questions that we have, because we've missed a few. First off, really quick, this is from Howard. What are your favorite shows? Do you have any favorite shows?
Where are they asking these?
So many.
On the group page that under the link that I had posted.
Oh, okay.
So, what are your favorite shows, guys?
Right now or of all time?
Favorite. So let's say all time.
Yeah.
Buffy, Angel, A-Team. Can we go cartoons as well?
Sure, if it's a television show.
Transformers, G.I. Joe, 24.
Okay, I think you have a lot of favorites.
Yes.
Now you're just listing TV shows from the past decade. Cody, how about you?
There's so many, and a lot of them right now. The big ones on AMC, so I don't have to list all of them, including Better Call Saul, Game of Thrones, Flash and Arrow. All of them that are happening right now, I've been sticking with for the long haul because they're fantastic. And I guess Last Airbender and Korra, I was really big into those when they were out. What about you, JP?
For me, I actually have to agree with Ryan. Say Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because I've loved that show since I think the first episode I ever watched, I was in 8th grade. I think I was in 8th grade, and I think they were on season 3, but which was one of the best seasons of that entire show. But I loved Buffy. I have loved Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Psych. I don't know if you guys ever watched Psych,
Oh, yes.
but I was a
I actually
huge
just
fan of
finished
Psych.
it recently.
It it's one of those shows that I watch and I'm like, I want to become a psychic detective, just like Sean. 30 Rock is great. Parks and Rec, of course. But that's kind of a good idea of what I watch. But of course, I love some older cartoons like Animaniacs and grew up watching Tiny Toons and all that stuff. So. But then, let's see, we have some other questions, such as...
I do want to say, Danny Martin, I want a new Banjo-Kazooie instead of a new Mario. Not this nuts and bolts crap. Yes. Rareware needs to come back.
Did you like the, created stuff in Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts?
I actually
creative
haven't played Nuts and Bolts,
vehicles
I'll be
and stuff? If who's that, Danny?
Looks awful.
Okay, Danny, if... you liked the creative stuff in Nuts and Bolts Banjo-Kazooie, and you have a PC, The Siege is a game that's out on Steam. Now, granted,
He didn't like Nuts and Bolts.
He didn't or did?
He did not.
Okay, well then never mind.
It's awful looking. And I've heard it's terrible. I'll probably play it sooner or later just because I need to. But
there's a cool game.
Banjo 2 is one of my favorite games of all time.
Do you guys typically take breaks and go back to play old games, or do you pretty much only play the new games that you've gotten? This is from Hunter.
My NES probably gets attention once a month.
Yeah, I'm still planning on getting another Retron 5, and I was looking to see if my bag full of NES games are still sitting in here. They're not, but this is.
The fact that you say bag makes me cringe. They should be neatly stacked on a pedestal.
This I got at a flea market for $70, and it's nothing but PS1 games.
That's awesome.
And it's some hard to find ones too, like Azure Dreams, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Mega Man X5, Final Fantasy Anthology with 6, Chrono Cross.
Was Chrono Cross good? I loved Chrono Trigger.
No, not as good as Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
I think I also have Final Fantasy 7 in here. Yeah, 9. I think I have 7, 8, and 9, or actually I might have sold 8. Yeah, the first Marvel vs. Capcom. Yeah, I tried to get this for a little cheaper, but the dude at that pawn shop was one of those guys that doesn't hassle. And when I was like, "Hey, would you do $60 for this?" and he laughed at me and was like, "That's less than $2 a disc." I was like, "Yeah, but dude, you got 12 sports games in here."
Those aren't games.
Yeah.
Also, so moving on with some other news. First off, this is kind of a rumor thing. I know that if you guys have watched or listened to our podcast, we've talked a lot about Spider-Man and Marvel and all that stuff. Well, here's some extra news. It is currently being rumored that Sony/Marvel, they're looking for a Spider-Man as young as 15 years old to play Spider-Man. So that's that'll be interesting. Now, the rumored actors recently would seem to suggest that it's not Miles Morales, actually. So it could just be a young Peter Parker. So
yeah. One rumor guy was like, I'm hitting the gym to work for a new role. Wish I could tell you what it is. And everybody's like, oh, it's Spider-Man. No, I'm going to be Leatherface in the Chainsaw Massacre reboots.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was like, who?
I saw that.
That's a 15-year-old Leatherface. Like, oh, I guess I'll go kill somebody, Mom. God, get off my back. Who? That's stupid.
Speaking
That'll
of Sony,
be interesting.
Speaking of Sony,
Yes.
There's an Attack on Titan movie in the works. So that's kind of
Really?
exciting, even though I haven't watched the anime yet and really need to.
That's interesting.
I honestly would rather... I want to read the comics where it's Marvel and Attack on Titan, but I don't know many details about the movie itself.
Is that suspected to be like a American-made, like Sony America,
Yeah,
or
I
like
think it's
Sony
American.
Japan?
Well, yeah, because the Sony Studios I don't think they have a Japanese office. Their main spot is in the States.
And I know they're making a Japanese one for sure, so I feel like, because this is relatively new news, and the Japanese one we've been hearing about for the last 3 or 4 months, at least. So I would assume that it's American. It better be.
Okay.
Or my hopes and dreams will be broken.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just used to pretty much any time they try to make some kind of anime movie, it's always like, oh, and by the way, no Asian characters or no Asian cast, like how they did with Akira. They're right now.
No, not Akira. One
No,
with the female.
There was an Akira movie that was being produced, or that it was starting to, and then because it was going to take place in Neo Brooklyn instead of Neo Tokyo, they changed all the names of the characters. Kaneda was going to be like Christopher or something like that. It was something ridiculous, and then they started announcing like potential actors. The person who's going to play the lead character girl was going to be the girl from Twilight. Can't remember her name.
What anime is this?
Anyway, yes. So anyway, after like they started to announce some of this stuff, this was a few years ago, all the anime fans started sending like them emails like, stop, like please just stop. They did. I mean, it's now in like development, like pause, like where we don't know if
What anime is this?
What
anime is this?
It was
Akira?
Oh,
It was a 1980s
yeah.
movie.
No, I was just gonna say
it was
Ghost
a
in the
movie.
Shell.
Mm.
Scarlett Johansson's supposed to be in Ghost in the Shell, and people were really mad that it's the white actress.
That's what I was trying to think of earlier, and Anna just posted. I think you're thinking of Ghost in the Shell. But yes, you're correct.
Yeah, the Akira stuff was a few years ago, but we'll see. I mean, I guess I'm not as concerned for Ghost in the Shell. One, because I really didn't watch it all that much, but I guess because she's a cyborg, you know, you could say that she looks like anything, I guess. But I would be upset if then there were no other Japanese characters, and if they just started like changing all their names. They're like, oh, we're gonna keep it like, you know, Roger and Cody and Ryan. Just kidding.
I think it's funny in Heroes. I might be wrong, but I think the dude that plays Hero is Chinese.
I don't know.
In real life, but like he's Chinese on the show. And then I forgot George Takei was his dad.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Okay, so let's see. Sarah had. Would we rather a wand or a lightsaber?
Ooh.
Hmm?
Would you rather have a wand? So a wand, like a magic wand, like Harry Potter or Gandalf. Even though Gandalf's wand wasn't so much the magic part, it was the stone that was in it. But you know, whatever. Or a lightsaber. I would
rather have a wand.
A lightsaber.
I want a lightsaber the size of a wand. It doesn't have to do the wand stuff. I just want to cut toast with my lightsaber because what else are you going to do with a lightsaber?
So in the Family Guy Star Wars episodes, I think they pay Han Solo in like random like merchandise and like trinkets and stuff, and so one of those things is actually a lightsaber butter knife or something like that. It's just like a little like that's
what? Yeah, well, I think we all picked lightsaber, or did one of y'all pick wand?
I chose a wand. I don't know what kind of wand. I actually do you guys know what Pottermore is?
No.
Pottermore is this it's made by J.K. Rowling, and it's like you walk through the Harry Potter books, but you like actually go through the sorting hat, and so you get sorted in, and then there's all this other stuff. Anyways, one of those things is how you go to Ollivander's to get your wand, and you have to take a test to figure out what kind of wand you get. And the one I got was like I think it was unicorn core. I don't remember. Maybe I forget what the actual like final thing was. That's the only thing I remember about it. But I did get sorted into Gryffindor, which everyone who told me I'd be in Hufflepuff. So take that, because it's an official Harry Potter test. Gryffindor, 10 points for Gryffindor.
All right, so was it earlier this week where Marvel came out and said that Marvel Entertainment won't be at Comic-Con, but Marvel Comics will still be there?
It was this week. So James Gunn, who is the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, he actually said that they asked him what his plans for Comic-Con were, and that if they would be there. And he said that, for one, he's not going to be there, and two, he was like, yeah, Marvel Entertainment, like the Marvel movies, they're not going to be at Comic-Con this year. Much to the like frustration of a lot of people, because that's one of the big exhibition halls for the Marvel show.
But Marvel doesn't really need to go to Comic-Con anymore.
That is true.
Yeah.
They are rumoring that Marvel Entertainment, they're just going to have their own
that's what they really
press conference
do.
later.
It's just to do some sort of, which they have been at the like Disney 23 or whatever, because there's always so much wrong with Hall H. Like, you have to wait all day to get there and stuff, and it's like, we already know you're going to watch our movie, so...
The thing is that, now that we have the chance to possibly go to Comic-Con, it's like, that was definitely one of the main things that I wanted to go see and experience.
Especially if we would have been able to use our press badges to get in Hall H, because I would have totally went like, yep, hey, let me coming third, get out of the way.
Oh, I would have waited in line. I would have been like, I don't care. I'm waiting for this thing. But they have said that Marvel Comics has said, we will for sure be there. They're like, don't forget about me. So they have said that they will for sure be there, and this was the head of Marvel Comics, and he also said that he had no idea what the plan was for like the Marvel movie departments and stuff. So maybe that will change. Maybe please, I just want to meet Agent Coulson, please. That would just be so much. That's my dream. Please, Marvel, if you're listening. So,
couple more questions, guys. Really quick, what would you not do with a lightsaber? I think just not do anything against the Bible is a pretty basic answer. Don't kill people.
Marvel film universe, without a doubt. DC universe is too broody, Danny. So.
Would you rather be a Muggle attending Hogwarts or in Pokemon with a Magikarp? For me, Pokemon with a Magikarp, because he'll turn into a Gyarados, and I will ride that across the 7 seas and become a Pokemon pirate.
I don't know what either one of those are, so I'll say Pokemon.
I would also say Pokemon. That would just be mega lame to be in Hogwarts and be like, well, can't use magic. Sorry, guys. I guess, isn't there the janitor of Hogwarts? Isn't he a Muggle?
Is he? I didn't know that.
Maybe I made that up. But you think you think he would be, because if he was a wizard, he would just use magic to,
that makes sense.
I assume. But maybe I made that up. Maybe that's a part of my Harry Potter fan fiction. If that is not a true part of the movie, it is now in my Harry Potter fan fiction. Copyrighted 2015.
What is your guys' favorite villain?
I've never been drawn to villains. Like, I don't...
Good guy, Ryan.
Yeah, like...
I would say probably Magneto, like comic book Magneto. I think he he's one of my favorite villains. Even though I also, similar to Ryan, I'm not like I'm more or less always rooting for the heroes. But in one of the most recent comic book runs of Magneto, he is like so intense, and I would anyway. It's more of like what I think of. I love to hate him.
So
when I was a little kid, I thought Shadow the Hedgehog was the coolest thing in the world.
Just because he has guns, unlike that lame Sonic the Hedgehog.
Even before that, Sonic Adventures 2 Battle, he just the misunderstood character. I love that. I guess Loki now is that kind of guy. Like everyone wants him to succeed, but it was the same thing with Shadow. Way before Loki was in the movies, being famous, it was like, I want you to just be good, Shadow. Just do the right thing. Stop being dumb. I don't know.
And he was all like, I'm dark and mysterious. I mean, yeah. I can't think of a villain. I mean, there's ones that are. Somebody said Joker? Question mark. Joker's cool, like sort of, but I think it was the performances I've seen of Joker. Like I've never, read a comic book just because, like, oh, I know Joker's in it. I think he's deranged, but I've never been like, man, let me go get a T-shirt with the Joker on it because he's so cool.
New 52 Joker scares me. He's gone too far. Killing people, okay, but ripping your face off and sewing it back together?
Yeah.
I'm freaked out by that. I don't know what it is, but it just, like, I saw that and was like, oh, well, that's strange.
By the way, while we are answering some of these, you guys should start sending us your Would You Rather questions, and we can start answering a few of those. And you can answer along with us while we do that. So you guys can continue talking, but you guys start coming up with some good Would You Rathers, and I have some as well.
One of us is fired. Alliance or Horde? I don't know the reference.
Only.
I'm a terrible geek.
Only punks go to the Alliance side. Horde for the win.
Alliance.
What is it? I feel awful. What's Alliance or Horde? I don't understand. It sounds familiar, but...
World of Warcraft.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't feel bad. I've never played World of Warcraft. I was worried it was something that I've played, and I would be like, oh. But...
I've actually only played, like, the free trial, so I can't really claim that.
I was a RuneScape kid. It's like the poor man. World of Warcraft.
That's funny.
So you said, would you rather maybe think of? Have you ever went to willyoupressthebutton.com?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have the app up.
Okay. What are your guys' would you rather's? Let us know.
Okay, so while we're waiting for people to comment that, I will go ahead and ask a will you press the button question. All right, if you press the button, your consciousness is transferred into an artificial intelligence network, basically making you a god. But you will be forced to continue until the end of the universe, meaning you will be the last thinking being in existence.
I wouldn't press the button.
Yay,
RuneScape. Somebody said it. Cool.
I will not press that button.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
I feel like if you press the button, you would just be smited immediately. God would be like, no. Sorry, man.
Stop.
Would you rather lather your body arms with corn syrup and put them in an anthill, or play Pretty Pretty Princess with each other?
I would rather play Pretty Pretty Princess. That's really hard to say.
I play Pretty
Ants are the worst. So
I would make a great princess. So I forget which pill. Is it the blue pill that takes you to the Matrix? I forget what each one does. Somebody just add, would you take the red or blue pill?
Why not both? That was an unexplored option.
I would, whatever puts me in the Matrix so I can have superpowers.
All right. Someone was wondering where this conversation is happening at.
What?
Someone was wondering where the conversation was happening at. It's happening on the community page. You guys are wondering. Probably at the very top.
Yeah, it's on the picture of us doing this.
JP Franco, update, we're live, and then the YouTube thing.
Okay.
Yes.
In those comments.
Can you show us? Show us what?
You already commented, so you know.
Would you be able to fly or read minds?
Read minds. I already know.
Read minds. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I have told people before, it's like, if I had telepathy and I could read your mind, I would totally abuse it without question.
Oh, yeah.
I would not even, like, really hide it. I would just be like, I'm reading.
I mean, honestly, if you could read minds, you could probably fly. I'm sure you could manipulate the airports.
I don't know exactly how that makes sense, but okay. I won't argue.
Well, you manipulate the people there. You get first class for free somehow, reading their mind and figuring it out.
I would rather read minds.
Star Wars movie or a Harry Potter movie? What would you rather direct?
Star Wars. Harry Potter's lame.
Harry Potter, because Star Wars is lame.
No.
I would do Harry Potter because I want the Martyrs Map movie to come out. I don't say martyr right, but yeah, it has like. I saw a poster and it had James Potter and his like gang, and they were. It was called the Martyrs Map, and it was really cool looking, and I want it to happen.
As we know, actually, Star Wars isn't really that lame. I was just being facetious, but as you guys have heard, as my co-hosts have heard, that if I've previously mentioned this briefly, but I have an idea for a Harry Potter fan fiction story that would be super awesome. And if I were to direct it, this is the movie that I would direct. But it would probably be co-directed with like Michael Bay, because really there's no one else who could do this as well as what I had in my head. But basically, it's like, so the Muggles have learned, like it's been widespread that the wizards exist, and that perhaps they've done something so they become a threat. So the Muggles, now listen here, and just trust me on this. The Muggles have decided to create these giant robots to fight the wizards. So it's like wizards versus robots, which would be awesome. So, can even wizards use their magic on technology? Was that in the books? I don't know. I've heard no. I've heard that it's not in there, that they can't use their magic against technology. If that's the case, what would happen? What would happen, guys?
That's the closest I can get to a pretty princess.
I guess it's a board game. I didn't realize that. So, I don't have the board game. So there. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. If you take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Wizard or a ninja?
Ninja? Wait.
Ninjas.
What wizard? Wait, what wizard? Like,
Any wizard you want.
Like, if I can be Gandalf, then okay. Yeah. Then I'll be Gandalf. Because he would already know that a ninja's there.
Gandalf.
Samwise is in a Christian movie. I can't remember what it was called, but I saw like a Facebook thing for it. Yeah.
It's I think from the same people that made God's Not Dead.
Oh, okay.
Would you rather be the lead character in your current Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or be an extra in a Marvel movie?
Oh.
I'd rather be an agent.
Yes. Though, okay, so another.
I want to be an extra because I'd be scared of my acting ability.
Oh, but you'd be in a Marvel movie. That means they like handpicked you pretty much for like the perfect role.
Yes.
Because that's what they pretty much do. But I have a friend who works in LA as a visual effects artist.
You know
and
everybody.
He worked in. When I met him, it was nuts. He's now married to a friend of mine, but I met him when they just started dating, and I was like, "Oh, so what have you worked on?" And he was like, "This was several years ago. So he was like, "Oh, I'm working on I just got done working on Iron Man, and I'm working on the Avengers right now." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Have you met Joss Whedon?" And he was like, "Yes." I was like, "No, I want your life." Anyway, I told him if I recorded myself walking in front of a green screen, if he would just put me in one of his movies. And every time I ask him, because I've asked him more than once, he just kind of laughs and then doesn't say anything. So I think that's a yes. Watch out, I am the new Spider-Man, basically is what I'm saying.
There you go.
You can do whatever a spider can.
When he shaves, he totally looks 15.
Totally. I could be Miles Morales. Nah, just kidding. It's not true.
I think. All right. So, Danny Martin asks, "Would you rather be forced to watch Left Behind forever, or to actually be left behind?"
Oh.
Isn't that the same thing?
I'm wondering what Wes would choose. That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Wes, what would you choose?
I really don't know. Both sound awful.
Well, one is eternally worse.
Yeah.
Probably.
So. But forever. I don't know.
Somebody just commented, "Whoa, Danny."
Real talk.
Real talk. Yeah, so I think they're both would be terrible, you know.
But you have to. That's the point of Would You Rather. I guess Left Behind forever. I just
watch it forever.
And hope that I get cancer or something. That's awful. I shouldn't say that. But
Yeah, but
I hope I die.
but
I hope I become terminally ill. That's what I'm trying to say.
then you would die, wake up in hell, and it would you'd be watching the old Left Behind. No, let's say the new one, because I think the new one was supposed to be a little bit better. But then you would
Nicolas Cage in it.
Wake up in hell and roll over, and it would be the old Kirk Cameron Left Behinds that you would have to watch, all of them. And then when you're like, oh man, finally it's over. Nope. And you always have to pee, but you can't get up because you're afraid you might miss something. Would you rather have your own video game fully financed and produced by a studio, or your own movie trilogy?
Video game. Because I have so many ideas for video games that'll never ever happen. So many.
Predator, without a doubt. Bradley.
Oh yeah, Alien or Predator.
Movie trilogy, I will say, especially if it's based off my own life, and I can help write the script and kind of fudge a few details. That's like when I went and saw Little Women a couple weeks ago at a play theater. I was like, you know, it'd make this a lot better if they were assassins. Right, so how long will we be going on?
How about we move on to the topic for today.
Granny Smith, John.
So most of you guys are probably gamers. I know we are, all three of us. Mm-hmm. We've played a game or two, probably, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, actually, I just played a game today.
Oh, good.
Stella Pop. It's a new Angry Birds game, but it's like Bust a Move.
This is the most gaming Ryan ever does, is mobile gaming.
Oh, yeah.
See, look at all my games.
So you've played a game.
Yes.
Have you guys played, I know you've played Dota. Cody, have you played online games much?
RuneScape?
Oh, that's right.
FPSs.
Okay, that's
FPSs.
So, I'm sure across your gaming that you've done, you've probably come across a toxic player. You know what I'm talking about. Like someone who's just like, you make a mistake and they're just like, "Ugh, you're the worst." blah, 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 blah. You should uninstall your game. Have you guys experienced anything like that?
I have never done that. I mean, experienced that.
Wait, really? Have you never?
That was a joke.
Okay.
On both things I said.
Well, tell us about a time that happened where someone was like toxic to you.
Actually, that was why back when like Call of Duty was like after Modern Warfare, and it was like Modern Warfare 2, where it was really at the peak of its excitement or hype. I mean, it's still pretty high up there, but I think those two was where it was the highest. That was kind of why I eventually just stopped playing Call of Duty. I mean, I was still buying them every year, but I wasn't playing online. Mm-hmm. Because, I was just like, I don't want to hear these 12-year-old kids talking about what my mother did and all this stuff. And
yep.
Now, that's also not to say that there has been times, especially in Dota, where I'm like, what are y'all doing? You are all stupid.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So,
also, people listening, please, in the comments, talk about times that you have been trolled or experienced toxic players. And you can even I've actually even experienced it in person. One time I was playing Super Smash Bros. Melee with my brother shortly after the game came out, and we were playing for a while, and I was consistently beating him. And at some point, he legitimately rage quit. Like, he just grabbed the controller and threw it across the room, and he was like, "I'm never playing video games with you again." And we never did. We never played games ever again from that point on. He could not handle it. But what about you, Cody? Anything?
I really haven't. I guess maybe it's because of the way I deal with things. I'm the annoying kid. So I've heard a few times where people have cussed me out or whatever, and I just completely ignore it and I pretend that I'm just not hearing it. I don't know that it usually shuts up. But I remember there's been a few games where people have been they'll start talking to me and start being awful. And so RuneScape's an example. I used to give away gold coins, and I'd be like, "This is a free gift." You know what else is a free gift? Jesus.
Oh, I remember you told me about that.
Yeah, and I would just I used to do that so often to people just to kind of throw them off. But I don't do it anymore because I feel like it's not really bearing any fruit, and it's probably making it look bad. Mm-hmm. But it's so fun to get people to just look at you and go, "Okay, I'm leaving now. You're worse than I thought."
Oh my gosh. I will say, as much as I enjoy League of Legends, and granted, I'm not the most competitive of League of Legends players, for sure. The community has gotten better, but when I first started, so toxic. The worst I've ever experienced. When I started, I was playing just computers against computers. It's like a team of 5 real players versus 5 AI. And I was just learning, trying to, learn how to play, which is what most AI players, when you're playing against computers, that's what you expect. You're learning. But I felt like the most toxic people were in that very beginning stage. There was one game where I had a character that I bought a skin for, which is completely optional. And man, one player was just like, "Yo, you're only supposed to buy skins for characters you're good with, and you should uninstall the game and whatever." And I was like, I commented because I don't really rage quit. I don't really get upset. I just start asking them questions for the most part. And so I was like, "So, question: Do you care how I spend my money?" And they're like, "No." And I was like, "Do you care if I want to support Riot, who makes the game, and offers it for free? Do you care if I support them?" And they're like, "No." And I was like, "Great, then we're on the same page." And they eventually just kind of left me alone. But I was like, you stop. We're playing against computers. This is not competitive right now. Like you can calm it down. So anyway.
Yeah. See, I have a problem, like when it comes to being competitive.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm losing, I get mad.
I just don't lose.
And okay.
Okay.
It's not as bad as like if I'm playing Call of Duty or something, because I don't care enough on that. But this is how bad it is. I even a while back was playing a buddy of mine who had just started playing Dota, and was in a bot match. And was just trying to be like, hey, this is what you do this. And first off, his mic wasn't working, so he was having some problems communicating. I was having to text. We ended up losing, and there was a few moments where, like, I'm not proud to say, where I was like, throwing want to throw a bottle or something. So yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, it's not my happiest moments.
I think I'm a fairly moderate. I have a fairly moderate like temperament. Like I don't. I usually am not very wavering and like I'm really excited, like crazy. I'm just kind of like pretty mellow for the most part.
Are you an only child?
Me?
Who?
Yeah.
No. As I said earlier, I have a brother.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Whatever. It's just, see, I think that's some of it.
Yeah.
Like weirdly enough, because I am.
Oh, okay.
And it's not like I hate to say I'm used to getting my way because I wasn't raised that way. But I think because I didn't have that dynamic of playing with like a brother or a sister as growing up.
Yeah.
And was just kind of like, okay, well, this is okay, so and kind of figure it. I don't know, but I think a lot of it has to do with like growing up as an only child. Because one of my other like really good friends, she's also an only child. Mm-hmm. She's also very competitive and kind of wants to rage a little bit because she starts losing. So it's just one of those weird quirks that I've found with the few only children that I know of. We kind of have that in common.
So, and I mean, it's not to say that like getting frustrated is a bad thing, or being like being competitive is not a bad thing. But there kind of seems to be, at least in my opinion, and this is what I'm asking you guys, there kind of seems to be a line where it like crosses over into like, okay, maybe this isn't my reaction to this isn't very good. What do you feel about Christians and the way they handle like if let's say they become the not the troll or the toxic player, like how do you feel like Christians should handle that? What are your thoughts?
So you mean the Christian is being toxic, or the Christian is handling the toxic person?
I mean like because it's very easy for us to in the heat of playing a game be like so into it that you're like, if you lose you're just like like what's the Christian being the toxic player, like what are your thoughts on that? Does that kind of make sense?
If it gets real bad, like to the point where you're throwing a controller and shouting a bunch of obscenities, you might want to put it down for a little while. And there's been times where I've had to do that because I've been that person. I mean, well, I've never thrown a controller because I'm cheap. And so I'm like, if I throw this, I might break it and I have to go buy another one, and they're too expensive. So I'm just going to say a lot of bad words. And that that also go back to when I was talking earlier with not World of Warcraft, with Modern Warfare. That was another reason why I put it down, is I was getting too much of that like frustrated because it wasn't killing, getting kills that I thought I should and all this stuff. It was just being kind of toxic and just had to step away for a little while. And I know with like Dota, it's like that right now for a couple of reasons, because I play late at night and it's a bunch of, and I'm still in like the low tier level, so it's a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing. And you also run into, and I don't know if you run into this in League, in the low tier stuff, you kind of run into the problem of you're on a team, but it's a team of lone wolves.
Oh yeah. Granted, I haven't really played the like low-level tier stuff. I just play like some of the side games that they have. Like I usually don't play any ranked games. Like I'm not ranked on there because
but
I've
not
heard
ranked yet on Dota. I think you have to get like 200 games in or something before you can become ranked on Dota.
Yeah. But I've heard stories of bronze level players just being like, I'm doing what I want and I don't care, what everyone else is doing. I'm gonna do this, and I've heard it gets more heated the lower the level.
And so that's why I'm like, okay, come on, I don't have many more games. Let me get through. Let me break 200. Come on, I won't have to deal with this, and that's keeping me a little optimistic sometimes. But yeah, I think just the big thing is if you, and it can go a while. It was a while before I realized, hey, man, what I'm doing, that ain't cool. The way I'm acting, and just had to set it down and take a break. And really, it wasn't until probably Black Ops that I actually even was playing again multiplayer. But it wasn't really. Actually, it wasn't until Black Ops 2. That was on PC, and PC shooters, I guess because nobody has a microphone, are a lot better audience.
You don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, because you just don't have that toxic attitude that you do over a headset like you do on the consoles.
Yeah. Cody, what about you? What are your thoughts?
It's weird because I have an anger management problem, but it's not as bad as it sounds. I don't get super angry and uncontrollable. It takes a lot to get me angry, and I don't get angry very often. So when I do, I don't know what to do with it. And so I don't lash out or anything. I just get really quiet and bottled up.
Yeah. Totally healthy. Just kidding.
Yeah. No. I mean, it saves me from a lot of fights.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, it's definitely. So if I get furious, it kind of scares me because I don't know, what would happen if someone pokes me or something. So I don't know. I mean, that translates though when I'm playing video games to if I'm angry, I'm either going to shut it off and walk away, or I get really, really quiet. So that's it. I guess it doesn't really work in this scenario. It's actually a good thing probably for video games, but in general, it's an issue.
Now you can super rage in offline games because Earl Parker just made a comment that I was like, oh yeah, I did rage a lot in Super Meat Boy.
I don't know. I just walk away when things get too tough.
That's good.
In video games, I'm just like, I'll come back to it. Do it later.
No, I think that's a very healthy way to handle it. Is just be like, okay, if you can't sometimes it's hard maybe in Dota or League matches because you can't just leave sometimes until the game is over.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's nice in between those matches to just okay, I'm gonna stop, or I'm just gonna go take a break for a while because my emotions are running way too high or whatever. But we've kind of talked about this before, and it might be a good, it might be pretty relevant in this situation. But how we can use, and I mean this is one of the reasons why Geeks Under Grace is even here. But we can use video games as a witnessing tool, we can reach out to people and all that kind of stuff. And I know Cody, you've talked about that a little bit.
Yeah. Did you want me to talk more about it?
Yeah, sure.
No, I don't know. It's been fun and it's kind of cool to do. I have had really good discussions with people through doing that. One thing that I do say, there's a lot of people out there that have Christian gamer tags. You good at the video game if you're going to do that, because people will look at it, and if they're like, oh, that Christian gamer is doing awful. That's what Christian gamers are like. They're awful. Yeah. I've always thought that because I wanted to do something like that for the PS4. When I got my PlayStation 4, I wanted to do a Christian gamer tag, and I'm like, no, because I'm probably going to be really bad at first, which I was when it comes to Destiny, and now I'm a better player. But no, I think it definitely needs to come through not saying that you're a Christian and tagging that somewhere, but having authentic conversations with people, which is definitely possible in video games.
Oh yeah, and I feel like, I've played with some friends before, some different games, and just seeing how they interact with other players that are maybe not in our friend group, it's also pretty eye-opening sometimes because, I've been playing with friends who, we'll be on. We'll be playing against some people, or we'll have maybe a couple of strangers on our team, and if those people mess up, they'll start cursing them out. They'll start being a huge troll, so much so that it's just I mean, granted, they don't. None of them have gamer tags that are Christ Player 32 or anything like that. But,
yeah, start cussing them out. That'd be awful.
Right. Yeah, but in some way, I had to kind of sit back and just kind of analyze some things. So I was like, oh, if I were playing against that player, would I think, oh, that person's a Christian? Or, my first thought would probably be probably not. They're kind of being jerks right now, and they're not. Either. I mean, I've talked to my friends about this. At some point, it was okay, I could either just sit idly by and just let them become super toxic, or I should talk to them, which I did, and was just kind of look, you cannot, this is not a very good representation of Christ. Even if you don't think you're ever going to talk to that person about Christ, you're still how you interact with them. That's you're showing. You should be showing the love of Christ regardless of whether you're straight up preaching or whether you're just interacting with people. Because I think people really see the difference.
Yeah, and I think some of that's why I've played less with people I don't know.
Just
and what was great with Destiny was it was just me and some friends playing, and we just have a grand old time. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a conversation we can finish. And somebody said, who said it? Sarah Carter. I believe personal maturity has something to do with controlling one's actions as well. I was young when I threw my keyboard. I wouldn't do that now. I think that has to do with a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, these Google effects are so cool.
They're so real.
Yes. So lifelike.
Hey, it's not Ryan. It's my dog. All right, so I think that's about all we have on that subject. If you want to go ahead and start closing it up, JP.
Yes.
Where can people reach us at?
Well, we have a bunch of different places that you can find us. First off, we have our website, which is geeksundergrace.com. We also have 2 Facebook pages, facebook.com/geeksundergrace, as well as facebook.com/crossconsolegamers. If you search for Geeks Under Grace, you can find all of that stuff. We're also on YouTube at Geeks Under Grace. We're on Twitter @Geeks Under Grace, and yeah, we have a podcast that we also thank you. We also have if you go to youtube.com/Armour
No,
Cody,
that was for them. You didn't have to say that, but thank you.
But it's I will. I'll go ahead and promote you as long as you promote me next. Just kidding.
Is it youtube.com/Jetpackpaul?
Yes. Anyway, at Cody's channel, you can actually find the Christian News Show. So you should all go check that out. And you're about to have some. You're about to have some very well done thumbnails. So you can.
Yeah, I'm excited for them.
But anyway, so you can find us all there. We also have a Facebook group where currently we have a lot of viewers who are watching this right now live, who are commenting from there. But from there, we have memes. You can join in on the conversations of all the things, comics, all nerd stuff. Just come in and hang out with the community.
Are we doing this next week? I don't know. So.
I'm not sure. We will talk about that. If you guys liked this, you should totally let us know. You should post a new thread in the group and say, hey, we really like this. Or you can email us at GUGcast@gmail.com. And you can send us your feedback because we want to hear that. So if you like this, let us know because we'll do it again if this is something that you guys want more of.
And Thomas will be back when he's done being married.
Yeah, and honeymoon
True.
and all that
Well, not done being married, but getting married.
with the initial process.
Yeah.
And so on that note, y'all have a blessed week, and until next time.